GETV is back, and I'm just so proud to introduce. Let the dirt say amen. How you doing,
Hey,
my man?
salute. I'm blessed, man.
Like I just said, man, the anticipation been building today for this one. I've been sitting down, I've interviewed questions, I've been doing my research, making sure everything's on point. How's your day been?
My day is cool, man. I'm oddly enough, I'm at the towards the I hope the end stages of battling COVID, man, for the
Oh,
week.
I did
Um
see that.
yeah, it happened, it came on like maybe late last week, and me and my lady have just been dealing with it over the last couple of days, and hoping every day that it feels like you like getting good, and then this next day it kind of feels um a little more tiring on your body, but um
Is this the first time
it's
you had
better.
it?
Yeah. It's better than it was. I can say that much.
Good, I'm
So
glad to
you know what
hear
I
that.
mean. Slowly but surely, just getting myself back together. But yeah, this is the first time since the pandemic started that um, I've been directly touched by it. You know what I mean?
No, I stayed away from. Well, my kids, both my boys have had it, but I've kept away from it. Me,
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
how.
yeah. It's weird like that. Like I have three children. My oldest child, she just turned 18, but her mom's side of the family, I think four, there's six of them altogether. So there's two adults and four teenagers, and I think only one of them didn't get it out of the whole household.
See, there's
So
only
yeah,
myself and my two sons that live here with me. So
okay,
we
okay.
just kept when they had it, they just stayed in their rooms, and I just kept myself to myself and just
Mm-hmm.
waited on them. Really, jumping straight in, man. Whereabouts are you from?
I am from Washington, D.C. Some people call it the DMV nowadays, but I'm
Indeed.
an actual DC native, like born and raised inside the city limits, Northeast Washington, D.C. to be exact, where Marvin Gaye is from.
Oh,
Yeah, Marvin
that's
Gaye
something
grew
nice
up.
to have, that man.
Yeah, he grew up close to where I lived at. And I always tell people this, that back in the day, my pops used to live in Detroit for a quick second with my mother before I was born, and one of their good friends was a very famous NBA ball player, and through him, um, they connected with Marvin once or twice, and my father got to chill and like smoke with him and shit back in the day. So yeah, but that's what I'm a Washington D.C. boy at heart.
Wizards fan.
Um, let's put it this way: I have somewhat of a hometown allegiance just because I'm from here, but I've never honestly been a fan of DC teams like most Washingtonians, most DMV people, because I'm one of the few people that I think have always been kind of honest with the relationship of the team's record, even on down to like the policies like that affect things such as like the race relations in the sports industry.
For sure.
Our teams always have had kind of like just I don't know some weird things going on. So they do good for a while. Sometimes they tend to self-destruct towards the qualifying time of a season. So that's been my experience with them. But then I also at some point I started to pay more attention to art than sports.
But as
So
a
I'm
youngster,
not the best person to ask about anybody's
sports
record,
wise.
the roster on the team. Like, I can give you a couple of main names, and that's about it.
But as a youngster, no doubt, though. I mean, the Redskins then back
Oh
then,
yeah,
they were
growing up,
like right on
definitely.
top,
Yeah,
mate.
growing up, I would definitely say I was a Skins fan to a
Yeah.
certain degree. And I like the Bullets when they were the Bullets. I like them as the Wizards as well, like some of the earlier teams, like when Chris Webber and Juwan Howard were on the team, and even like the quick, brief Michael Jordan years. And I mean, like I said, they've had some great players along the way. They always get good players. It's just kind of hard getting that like complete, complete assemble.
My team's just nosediving it. I'm a Manchester United fan.
Okay. And
so we've been used to
they're having a rough time. I got you.
Very.
I got you.
So let me get this right. So formed in 2019, let the dirt say amen. Is that from the Dirty Church Collective?
Yes. So the way it started was like I would say back in like the maybe mid 2000s. I got the idea to do a group called the Cornell West Theory. And when I was producing the music for it, I was looking for a name, and my homie Rashad, aka Messiah and Glitch, he suggested these like all these different acronyms, or not so much acronyms, but just like anything that started with a D and ended with a C. And so one of them was Dirty Church. So I was like, I like that. So I said, I'm gonna start using that for production. I didn't do a lot under it, released like some small scattering things on the internet. And then finally, after doing like maybe 7 to 9 projects with the Cornell West Theory, I decided, hey, yo, maybe you should try your hand at solo stuff. So that's when I brought that name back into circulation for the first album, which was called Bullets. And I did that under Tim Hicks X, The Dirty Church. So Let the Dirt Say Amen is, yes, the evolution of that in a way.
Who's part of that collective now?
So here's the thing. At the end of the day, the Dirty Church was really, it was ultimately really just me. But the way I always like to name things is to try to give it a name that sounds like, yes, it could be a group of people. My younger brother was originally Dirty Church. He is a composer, producer. But then he kind of started doing some other things. So it was, like I said, just mostly me. So it's just like a name that I kind of just use. Like I said, I always like names that sound like it might not be it might not be a solo artist. Like it could possibly be a group.
There's not enough of that nowadays within the genre itself. It tends, people just want the limelight of being a solo artist nowadays.
Yeah. Like I mean, here's the thing. Everybody wants their flowers, and I want mine at the end of the day. But I mean, I'm not so much concerned with any shine or limelight in particular, like being focused. I mean, even shout out to famous nobodies like this shirt. Like I rather at least receive the opportunity that one should hope for in their craft and in their field, so that they can do their art the way that they want to do it, and to also be able to take care of their family, support their loved ones doing the art. But I never really cared. Like like I said, I always kind of wanted names that took the attention away from me.
So jumping straight in with God Hates Gucci, obviously winner of the Wammie for best album. Man, I just gotta say, man, like Busta versus Michael Myers, holy shit, bro.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Like it means something for me to know that my music
that's got to have taken a minute to write lyrically.
Yeah, I think it happened maybe over the course of about a year. Would you say it took me like a year to write God Hates Gucci?
Yeah, can I see your phone?
You said the phone? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it took roughly about a year. I had done Bullets, and I linked up with my brothers Camber and Sean Bourne, who had just came off of the Nino Green album. And I participated on that album on 2-3 songs. And then from there, it was just like, all right, I kind of been, like I said, creating my project as that time was going on. And then it kind of came to like, okay, all right, it's ready to go into the lab now. And yeah, from there,
I like the way you've actually, though, you decided throughout as a common theme in the album, you've paid homage to a lot of people. I mean, lyrically quite cleverly, if I might say. I mean, even with Snoop at the beginning of Buster versus Michael Myers, Dear God, I Wonder Can You Save Me?
Yeah,
DMC, I'm running, DMC, I'm running, I'm running.
Yo,
Bone Thugs,
I'm
Thuggish
glad you
Buggish.
caught that. I'm glad you caught that, man. I didn't know how many people would catch that. Like sometimes I intentionally, with my verses, like some verses you have to just start with an original thought, with an original word. It's supposed to be your word that goes out and people begin to continue to quote that. If you wrote something that will last the test of time. But I always have this habit of sometimes starting a song with someone else's lyric purposely to go back to, to like that source, or like, or somewhere in the verse you might hear a flip on someone else's lyric. But I'm glad you pointed that out. I definitely did that intentionally.
It's the same. I mean, with as well, another one of my favorites really is La Monica. I mean, again, just lyrically, just absolutely on point. I'd go as far to say it's almost perfect, isn't it?
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro.
The beat was just dope.
Yeah, I had fun with that track, man. It was it's definitely one of my favorites on the album. I named it after my lady who's sitting in the back. Her middle name is LaMonica. So it was like, all right, I always told her I would do a song for her. And I cover a lot of stuff on the song, but like I said, the namesake is just kind of like about beauty. It's about making hip hop beautiful again, if possible. You know what I mean? Like remembering that, all right, the aim before was to kind of keep going up, and to a certain degree, I feel like that trajectory has kind of gotten, pushed aside for other things. So LaMonica was like just a verse where I could just like, that's another thing. I usually will stick to, a traditional format when writing a verse. And that one was one where I was like, yo, I'm just going to go. Like, just keep rapping until you can't rap no more,
I like the style as well. The fact that as well that you don't have with you yourself a traditional hook.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Not a lot of choruses.
Works. Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know. Like I said, and even though I just said I have maybe a traditional approach to some songs, I also think about changing the idea of what a song is. Like with hip hop, like everything used to be based on a verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus sort of format. So it's like, well, I mean, you can get the gist without having a chorus to repeat sometimes, you know what I mean? So hopefully I achieve that, in a good way with those songs.
Just Say Dope felt kind of personal as well.
Yeah, that's another one. Like, the album is about holding a mirror up to hip hop. And at the time that I was writing that shit, I was seeing a lot of wild stuff in hip hop that I feel like at a certain time wouldn't have been allowed, stuff that definitely would not have been approved of by, let's say, the legends, the people that have created the space for any of us to do hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Whether you are the MC, the DJ, the journalist, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to honor what I was taught, like how I was taught to do it. So that's for me. Just Say Dope was just like a song and just kind of addressing the fact that like everything is about the same shit still, you know, like we've been talking about the same thing for 20, 30 years. And it's like, all right, I don't know how many people are going to ever do it better than Wu-Tang did it or do it as good as MOP did it. You know what I mean? So I just want to see people kind of like bring some new energy to stuff. And
that links on to my next question. What's your, and this happened, as you'll know, what happened in the DMV. What's your opinion on the fact when, I mean, God rest his soul, Gunnu was murdered, them bringing his body out and propping it on the stage in DMV at a concert recently?
I mean, first and foremost, man, rest in peace to that young brother.
Yeah,
and because, you know, it speaks to just kind of like just the things that's happening in the city overall with the younger culture. But I'm not 100% privy to the story, so I don't want to speak on it like I know.
Okay.
But I will say this much: I did see the video, and I feel like, look, you can honor your peoples in whatever way you choose to honor them, but it also, you know, kind of says something about the times that we're in. You know what I mean? Like, there's definitely been instances before where I'm sure people have had some kind of real elaborate things done to celebrate their death. But I guess that's the thing. Like, it's like with our culture overall, I want to
Protect, I suppose.
I want to kind of like address the idea of like, yo, are we celebrating too much death with our culture? You know what I mean? As a whole. But you know what I mean? Like I said, man, definitely rest in peace to
For sure.
him as well as many other people that, you know, like I said, because of the culture of the city, the culture of the DMV, the culture of the country is you know, it's unfortunate ends in these situations.
Going back to your album, is it something personal to you, like the 60s, 70s kind of flavor and vibe to some of the beats?
Yeah, I definitely I was raised off of a lot of that music. So or that style of music. Like a lot of those tracks that I might have used to sample from might have been new to me in terms of the artist or the song, but the vein of music is like a lot of the stuff was, you know, being played in my household as I was growing up. And I'm, you know, I'm from that time. Like I grew up kind of alongside hip hop. I wasn't old enough to enjoy it in the early 70s because I wasn't born until 77, but that 77 to 80 to 80 to 85 is like, those are very,
No, we're the same. Yeah.
you know, particular years as far as hip hop goes. So like I said, a lot of the influence just on hip hop is soul, and just like I say, I just reviving that style. Like it's just like, yo, that music is timeless music. So it's all about how hard we willing to go for it. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm using those samples to point to the fact that someone else influenced me. Like they already made it dope. So
Yeah.
I could just pull a piece of that dope to make something new, you know?
Without speaking the obvious, winning the Wammie for best album, best hip hop artist, being recognized by your peers, in particular in the DMV.
Yeah.
What?
Wow. Let's make sure we got them up there real quick.
For sure.
I was able by the power of God to snatch both of these, man. Like this is best hip hop album for God Hates Gucci, and the other one is for best hip hop artist in the DMV, man. I got to make sure I say that. This is not just like DC. This is not just Maryland. This is not just Virginia. This is the entire DMV. So when they ask you who's who in the DMV, if they don't say let the dirt say amen, somebody's tripping. All right, because the stats don't lie. All right.
Fire round, you ready?
Yeah.
Shy Glizzy or Fat Trail?
DC, man. That's my answer.
Wale mixtape about nothing or Wale's Ambition album?
Bullets by Tim Hicks and the Dirty Church.
Cue the Fool or Young Money.
God Hates Gucci by Let the Dirt Say Amen.
I like it. We're going to carry on with this. No Savage or Primo Rice.
Guru and Premier.
Best album by DMV artist, not including yours.
Best album by a DMV artist, not including mine. Nino Green.
Oh, yeah, I like that album as well. Kenilworth Katrina or Rico Nasty.
KK all day, man. Kenilworth Katrina. Shout out to Rico Nasty, but Kenilworth is my sister, man. I've had the pleasure of working with her, and outside of just being a dope artist, she's an amazing person. You know
She's
what I
a
mean?
humble person, isn't she, as well? She's lovely.
But she's a killer on the mic.
Oh, I've seen a new release today.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a completely different style.
Yeah. She stays, maneuvering through the waters of what people think is rap.
I like the way in the videos as well. She gets excited, man. She's up on her toes and she's bouncing about.
Yeah, she got that energy. You know what I mean? You can see the hunger, and I appreciate Katrina, man.
Shelly the MC or Lady C, aka Lyric, both from DC.
I'm gonna go with Shelly.
Bone Thugs or 3-6.
Bone.
Away from the East Coast, because I can't go with East Coast, you're just gonna be biased. Death Row or Aftermath?
Death Row or Aftermath? Wow. That's tough, but I'm gonna have to go with Death Row, man.
It had a little bit of about it, didn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot on both sides, but I'm gonna go with Death Row just because of my era.
It was one of my favorite moments in hip hop where Suge Knight is on. I know it's in New York, but he's on the stage in New York. Any artist has done all up in the video, dancing, come to Death Row.
Death Row.
Still gives me goosebumps now when I see that.
Yeah, shout out to Uncle Snoop, man, for getting the rights to Death Row and getting that catalog back, man.
That's got to be a good look. That's got to be a good look for him. Death Row becoming blue rather than being red.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think at the end of the day, by this stage, Snoop is, like many artists over there, for the unity of both sides of the flag. So, it's a good, because that's another thing about Death Row is that, from my understanding of it, it was one place where, while we definitely obviously know the violent part of the history, it still was a place that actually brought together Bloods and Crips in regards to like music and doing business. So that was a huge thing. And yeah, man, I think with Snoop having control now, he can just bring about more unity and a new chapter for him. You know what I'm saying?
I've even got an old Death Row Records tattoo on my arm, man.
Okay, yeah. So you're official.
Back in the 90s.
Okay, bet.
Top 3 albums in your opinion?
Top 3 albums in my opinion. Yeah. Are we talking hip hop or am I just picking 3 albums?
Any 3 albums. What's your
Any 3 albums? Catch a Fire by Bob Marley and the Wailers. Hard to Earn by Gangstar, and God Hates Gucci by Let the Dirt Say Amen.
The people around you musically on a daily, is it the same core team?
It's at this point right now, I've been doing a lot of work with my brothers at Humble Monarch. Shout out to Roddy Rod, shout out to Kane Sean Bourne, my man Judah, DJ Iron, all the cats that's been shout out to my man Howard Knox too and ADST, but all the people that's been playing a part in what I've been doing over this last 2-3 years, man. Like I said, I've been running with these brothers since I did the first album, Bullets. I won Best Rap Album with that. I was able to come back, 2 years later with this God Hates Gucci and win 2 more awards for that. So That's been the formula thus far. I also kind of have a thing where um, I'm all about like just diversifying and trying to put together just people that I've never worked with before too. So you'll see more of that. Like it'll be like I said, the things that I've already done, and then you'll see me intermingle with new people that bring something dope to the table as well.
Is that the same with your video work?
Uh-huh. I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Is that the same with your video work?
Yeah, with the videos, like I said, with the first album, shout out to DJ Roddy Rod. He did all, I think, the videos for my first album, Bullets. But then when we came back with God Hates Gucci, Roddy got busier in terms of like other people wanting to use him, you know what I'm saying, for his videos. So it was like, all right, well, how do you take the pressure off and be able to like still, add something new to the thing by bringing in new people? So I brought in my brother Irvin Green, man. Shout out to E, and shout out to the brothers at Hip Hop Digest, Felipe's Garage. But my man Irvin did the video for La Monica over there. We did it over in Cali, over in LA, South Central, Compton, East LA, and that was a dope experience. I got to go visit, Nipsey spot. Um, God rest that brother's soul. And
No reason for that. I managed to interview him about 12 years ago. There was no reason for that man to die, man.
Yeah, man. It's obviously, like
Sad
I
day.
said, it's something missing from the world, but definitely he set a fire that will hopefully keep going and continue to grow, and other people will move off of that inspiration. But I did that, like I said, over in LA. Shout out to my man Dominic Green, who did the videos for LL Doom and Just Say Dope.
I was going to say
So
about the Doom video.
yeah, it's like, just kind of like mixing it up, man. Just trying to make sure, like I said,
When I was on Iron Throne Radio in Philly last week, it actually caught her out. You think the track's ended, don't you?
wow,
And then you
wow,
drag them
wow.
back into it, man.
Yeah, man. It's like I said, it's and again, rest in peace to Doom, one of our giants. Like just the inspiration from that was dope too. But like I said, just with everything, it's just me trying to figure out, okay, who can I align with that's gonna help me to go further. I can help them go further, and we can just put out something dope in a time where, to me, there's a void of dope shit. Like you got a lot of good things happening in hip hop. Shout out to Griselda. Shout out to Kendrick, J. Cole.
Griselda and Benny the Butcher, right? Just released a new album, I think yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I think he dropped a video, but the album came out, I feel like a couple, like maybe back in March, I feel like. But either way, yeah, they've been on a run, man, for some time. And it's like I said, it's some other people coming up as well that have some dope stuff out there, but we need more of it. You know what I'm saying? We can't just kind of be satisfied with just having like 3 or 4 names that we can call off. We want to
There's
make
an
sure.
awful lot, isn't there, though, trying to hit that mark just at one time.
Yeah, definitely, man. So, I hope to be in that number of when people look up and say, yo, what's dope out? They gotta mention me,
Oh, I've been telling everybody.
Hey man, I
I've been
appreciate
sending it all over the place. Got it, it's Gucci and Bullets everywhere. People love it.
I appreciate that, man. The more it goes out, the better again hip hop chances are. Like the better the chances for the culture. Like I don't want a lot. I just want to be able to further my career, get the opportunities that I know I'm worthy of, and make dope shit, man. Just be remembered for like, yo, when you have to talk about those best MC conversations, when you have to mention the best producers that you had to say, let the dirt say amen. You had to mention Tim Hicks in that conversation.
Coming into the springtime now, leading up into, like, for example, the season for festivals, etc. You got any bookings coming up?
Nothing right now. My focus has kind of been on like content for like the last couple of months to a year. So I got a couple of things that I'm working on right now. one of which is a project with my brother RNL that hopefully we'll get to rocking with that. I got like 2 songs written out of a couple that I still gotta knock out. My
I've
man
caught
Rock,
you. I've
yeah.
caught you on Instagram, like giving shit away, man.
Yeah, like I have a good and bad habit of just coming on live occasionally and just like spitting a new verse that hasn't been recorded yet. But yeah, man, like I said, I would love to start performing more. So, for those that's out there looking for dope artists to come through your shit and actually give you a real show. And
And I've
not,
seen this. I watched today the performance on the Millennium stage at Kennedy Center.
yeah,
Was it?
yeah.
That was a killer set.
Hey man, thank you, brother, man. Like I said, we went in, we did what we could to again give our gift back. And it's like I said, the pandemic threw a big wrench in everything. So for me, I kind of like just took a step back mentally saying, all right, I'm not gonna worry about performing right now. Just make sure you give that content your all so that when you look up and when everybody else looks up, they can't, turn their head one way without having to see something associated with me. You know what I mean? And it always being something that's at a certain level of quality. And hopefully the goal is to keep making the level of quality go up and up and up and up and never hitting that ceiling where it's just like, you know, like I'm 40, I'll be 45 in May, and my goal is to still find new ways to attack writing a rhyme. You know what I mean?
Where can your music be found?
The easiest place right now is Instagram. Let the dirt say amen. Sometimes I pop on Twitter. That's Dirt Gregory, DIRT Gregory. And that's pretty much the best 2 places. Like I said, if you see me in the streets, man, show me love, I show you love back. I'm a humble brother, and that's what it is, man. Y'all look for more shit coming out. Like I got something definitely in the tuck that I'm working on to give people, again, like I said, more dope content. But in the meantime, just please, like if you haven't already, go to bandcamp.com/let the dirt say amen. Or it's let the dirt say amen.bandcamp.com. But either way, you can find it. Go download that album, man. Support the artist, me in particular, because
Who do you want to give shout out to, brother?
um, shout out to my kids, man. I love y'all. I miss y'all. Happy birthday, Hannah. Shout out to my man Hoodie the Nigerian. Shout out to Born Infinite. Shout out to the whole DC music scene, man. Every artist that salute to everybody that was in the Whammies too, man. Whether you won or not. I know I was up against some heavy hitters, man. Salute to Priest the Nomad. Salute to my man DJ Two Tone Jones. Again, shout out to Howard Knox. Shout out to my bro ADST. Shout out to my man YU. Shout out to Uptown XO. Who else? I don't know. I could think of a lot of people if you give me enough time, but we don't have enough time. So, man, shout out to London. Shout out to Brixton. Shout out to the people in the Caribbean, man. Shout out to the people in South America. Shout out to the people that don't have enough food on their tables. That's what I want to shout out, man.
Thank you very much for your time.
Hey, man, thank you, brother. I appreciate
You're welcome.
you. This shit has been an honor, man.
Speak to you soon. Take care.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.